day 34, and there's so much going on. There's so much that I'm processing. I mean, I was writing in my diary for hours today. But what I wanted to talk about today is I just put my hair down and I see how gray it is. And so it's been, I think, 4 months now. And, I'm keeping it gray. Also, it's just been so hot, and I always keep my hair up most of the time anyway, so it almost like I don't see it, But every once in a while, my husband still kind of says something. And what is interesting is that, so in the beginning or in the past, right, because I was always like maintaining my graying hair, a few weeks in, when the gray hair just starts to show, he would be like, "Oh, you need to go. Like, it's time to go to get it done, whatever." And I was just as scared as he was, right? Because it's shocking to the extent that, I mean, I know my age and everything, right? But it's not so obvious, like always in your face. And so, and actually we were walking yesterday and took a selfie for friends of ours who, anyway, and when I saw the selfie, I saw my gray hair and I was like, oh. And these are people that have known us for like since our 20s. We were very young when we were friends, and then life took us all away. And so my first impression was like, that's like so obvious, like, oh my God, they're gonna see how old I am and everything, as if they don't know, right? Same age as they are. So I've been thinking a lot about that, and also obviously my husband knows how old I am. And and it's just that kind of, we get attached to a particular identity, to the look, to the, we're constantly in relationship, not even so much with people in front of us, but something that they catalyze within us, right? Like yesterday when we went swimming together, I don't know, I was in a very different mood than last Saturday when everything was perfect and I was just in so much peace. And there was something that, I caught myself judging him. Something about the way he was swimming. I mean, it's so ridiculous now that I voice it. And so instead of saying it to him, I confronted myself, saying, okay, so what is it? Like, why do you need him to be different? Like, why do you need him to do it in a different way? And I realized as I started digging that it had something to do with like control, like some kind of like, I would have preferred to see him a little bit more in control. And it's interesting because when I switch it around now to him like needing me to control my hair, I think it's probably, I haven't spoken to him about this yet, because I think it's just, I'm just processing it now. But I think there is something about the world in which we're living, the world in which we were raised, that we love people who are in control, right? Like, we love people who are thin, who are fit, who got their life, like, who are with it, money in the bank, children all like perfect, them perfect, like that kind of perfect life. And I even wonder if that is even possible, because, I'm the first one who always talks about the fact that definition of success that we've all been kind of conditioned to want is so unrealistic. It's like so out of touch with the actual reality of what it means to be human. Like, we're so not in control of so much of what's happening in life. We're so not in control over this aging process. Like, whether I touch up my hair now in 3 weeks or I don't touch up my hair, like, nature is gonna continue. Like, my aging process is going to take its toll. Like, I can be all very, I can pat myself on the back for all the amazing things I still do in my yoga practice, because I've been doing it for so long, and my body is trained and everything. But my body is not the same that it was in my 20s or in my 30s or in my 40s. It's like so obviously different. So the whole relationship is, can I allow, and can he, and can we, right? Can we allow the lack of control? Can we allow the uncontrollable? Can we allow the not being in control, not being with it, not being perfect, not being, a perfect example of success, not being. And it's hard. It's hard because I catch myself all the time, like that inner, the trained inner critic, the trained inner patriarch, or whoever it is, who's like vigilantly watching how I'm doing. It's always there, right? We're so trained, and also it's our adaptation, right? There is nobody standing behind me anymore with a stick. It's all me. It's all my own, my own reactions and my own reactions, my own adaptations, my own living with myself. But how, this relationship between needing to control and needing to be seen as somebody who's got it, who's in control, versus somebody who is letting herself go or letting himself go, or taking it easy on themselves, taking it easy on ourselves. It reminds me of a session I had with one of my clients several months ago. It was our last session for the container that she chose, and I remember toward the end, we were saying our sort of I was saying some final words of wisdom, and I introduced to her this thought: I'm safe to have an easy life. And she was so like almost scared of it, And it stayed with me because through her fear, I saw myself. I saw myself. If I say to myself, I'm safe to have an easy life, I'm working on it, right? Like, I've convinced myself a lot about these things lately, but there is still so much judgment. There is still so much judgment. There is still so much resistance to the voice that just wants to rest and wants to take it easy and wants to accept what is as okay, as enough. Because if I accept what is now as enough, and there's like a whole list that I can say about it, about things that I wish were different, right? It's like I'm a slacker offer, or I'm not an achiever. I'm not that successful, perfect, person that I always needed to be, that I thought I needed to be loved, to be appreciated by other people. So when my husband, tells me with fear in his eyes, like, are you not going to go and take care of this? It sends me back to all those early years of my life where I needed to get a grip, I needed to control, I needed to not allow my humanity show, not allow my weaknesses show, not allow my imperfections, my realness, my nature, the real me. This is the real me, guys. 56 years old, and that's my real hair. That's what hair on a 56-year-old woman looks like, and I'm learning to I'm learning to live with it. I'm learning to accept it. And I told myself that I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen next. I might still go and get it done. I tell myself that I have that option because I want it to be a choice. I don't want it to be like another rule that then I don't have the right to like change my mind. But yeah, it's a constant confrontation between the public private, like this is showing my private me in public, and yeah, and I'm interested in that. I think it's time. I think it's time that we show the real self, and be okay with it and love it, because that's me, That's me. That's what a woman of 56 years old looks like. No makeup, no filters. My eyes kind of recovering, but not completely. And very graying hair. And I'm sure that when my husband sees my hair, he's confronted with his own age. And whatever that means to him. And when I see him and want to change something about him, to make it a little bit better, a little bit more, seemingly in control, I'm dealing with my own, difficulties to accept the fact that we're not perfect. And that life is, hugely, hugely uncontrollable. And we can control majority of what we thought we could control. That's what I'm seeing now. And there's a lot of sadness and frustration and a sense of loss almost. Like, I find sometimes myself almost grieving that version of me that felt life is full of promise and everything, and as life is progressing, and now, I'm facing the fact that the time that's still remaining to live, always unknowable, always. We never know exactly how much time we have left. But it's becoming somehow shorter and shorter. And so what is it that I want to do with it? What's left? And, is it still the same that I thought it needed to be when I was younger? Or how do I want to spend the rest of my time? And is it trying to control the growth of my hair and the my gray hair showing up? And no, I think I want to spend my energy on other things now. Let me know how you are doing with the parts of your life that are not controllable, or that you don't want to try to control anymore. Because you know what, for me there is so much more than my graying hair that I can't control anymore. Yeah. All right, everyone. See you tomorrow.